Hey guys, welcome to Start Linux Today. Now in this video it is part of the series of getting started with Linux. So what we're going to be doing is installing Linux inside of VirtualBox. Now I'm hoping you've followed the guide on the Start Linux Today website where it shows you how to download your Linux distro of choice between Ubuntu and Linux Mint, and then you have to download VirtualBox. So providing that you've got those two things downloaded, let's begin. So what you want to do as a Windows user and a Mac user, it doesn't matter, you just search for VirtualBox and open it. And then once it opens, the process is the exact same for Mac and Windows users. So what you want to do is click New, and then you want to name this something on the lines of Ubuntu. Alright, doesn't matter if you're using Linux Mint or Ubuntu. If you name it Ubuntu something, VirtualBox will preset it up for you to make it a little bit easier for you. Alright, so let's go Ubuntu. I'm going to put mine SLT, Start Linux Today. Feel free to use that name or use whatever name you like. And then once you've done that, you'll see that the version had changed to Ubuntu and the type had changed to Linux, which is cool. So we can hit next. And now we need to choose the memory size. Now, when Linux first came out, 1024 would have been alright, okay? So what that means is the amount of RAM that you're using. RAM is the memory of your computer, which means pretty much how quick it can handle opening and closing applications, how many applications you can have open at one time. So technically, and in a nutshell, the more you have in terms of RAM, the faster it will your applications will open, close, blah blah blah. Alright. So in this case, I'm going to change this number to 2048. Now, I only recommend this because Ubuntu and Linux Mint, as it's growing, so has its requirements, okay? So make sure that you've got this number as 2048 to begin with, and hit next. And now it's going to ask you to create a hard disk. Now this is a virtual hard disk. It's just making a small, it's just grabbing a bit of storage from your hard drive that you currently have and just allocating that to your new Linux virtual machine that you're about to make. So it's not interacting at all with your Windows or Mac environment. It's not going to mess with any of your files. It's completely separate. So we can hit create and leave it as VirtualBox disk image. We want it dynamically allocated. So what this means is you've set a 10 gigabyte limit, right? But it won't use that full 10 gig unless it needs to, okay? If you went fixed sized, it would just make that 10 gig and use it straight away, okay? If that doesn't make sense, don't worry, it doesn't need to. Just hit next, and then it's going, cool, where do you want to save this 10 gigabyte storage hard drive? We're just going to leave it as default and go create. Cool, that was easy. And now you'll see that it's here, Ubuntu SLT powered off. We want to start that up. Cool, and now it's asking, okay, cool, where is the ISO or the Ubuntu image or the Linux Mint image you downloaded? Can you please select that? So we're going to go here, and it's going to open up the File Explorer, or a Mac, you can still search for it, and I know where mine is, so it's Ubuntu here, and I'm going to click open. Same for Linux Mint, just select Linux Mint. Hit open, and away you go. And I'm just going to open this, and I'll close that. And now what we'll do is we'll just let it slowly start up. You'll see some words on the screen that's called the command line. So it's just, Linux is just, well, Ubuntu is doing a few things in the background. Don't worry about it, just let it do its thing. If you get a little message up here, feel free to close it. Now I am aware that you will most likely be pausing this video and then doing it yourself and then unpausing the video to follow along to the next step. So feel free to do that. Just pause the video as you feel and then just play it once you've caught back up. So when you get to this screen here, you want to click on install Ubuntu. Now for Linux Mint, you've probably appeared onto a desktop and you're like, oh, I don't have an install screen. Your install will just be on the desktop here. There'll be like a little install option. So just double click that and then you'll get a window. And so we'll click install Ubuntu. And now what we can do is choose our keyboard layout. You can test it here. Make sure that the words work. So the best way to test it is make sure if you're, I'm in New Zealand, so we're using the dollar signs, make sure your symbols are correct, because sometimes you might get the euro symbols and stuff popping up, so you want to make sure that's all changed. Then hit continue. We're going to leave it as a normal installation. I'm not going to download any updates while installing Ubuntu, but if you would like to, feel free to do it, but it will just make the install a little bit longer. And hit continue. Now we want to erase the disk and install Ubuntu. What this means is that that virtual hard drive you made, it's going to clear it all out, even though it's brand new. Make sure that it's ready to install Ubuntu on. And we'll hit install now. And now it's just confirming with you, saying, hey look, we are going to wipe that hard drive out, and it gives you a lot of technical jargon, so don't worry about it, just hit continue. You don't need to understand that just yet. Okay, so here it's going to come up with the world map, and you can either click on the world map where you would like where you are. It automatically detected where I am, so I'm just going to hit continue, and it will probably automatically detect where you are as well. Now your name, I'm just going to put SLT here. Feel free to put your name, and just put whatever you like for the computer's name, but you can't have spaces in the computer name, so just make sure you're aware of that, and same with the username. Password, just going to put something basic in here. Cool, and then I'm going to just set it in so it logs in automatically, because this is just a virtual machine, I'm not too bothered. And then you'll come up to here, so it's just finishing that install. And then on Ubuntu and Mint, it will give you like a little presentation on some of the features that Ubuntu has while you're waiting for the installation to finish. So we can have a look through here. So you'll see that Spotify is supported, Skype is supported, Slack is supported, OBS. OBS is a video recording software and streaming software. You'll see that you've got a music player, which is nice. Picture photo editor. You've got GIMP, which is like an alternative to Photoshop, and a video editor. You'll see here that you've got built-in Firefox, Flash, Chromium. Chromium is like Google Chrome, but it's open source. And you've got LibreOffice, Writer, Calculator, and Impress. So this is the equivalent to Microsoft Word, Excel, and Access, I think. Or is, oh no, sorry, that's PowerPoint. So like slides, PowerPoint presentation slides. Here you can see that you can change your appearance and stuff like that. It's got assistive technology, so make text bigger, smaller, stuff like that. And that's pretty much it. Okay, cool, so the installation is now complete, so we can click restart now, and that's just going to restart the virtual machine. Now it says please remove the installation medium, then press enter. So normally if that was on an actual computer, you'd pull out the disk or take the USB out. Here what you can do is you can go into devices, optical drives, and then you could go remove disk from virtual drive, but it looks like VirtualBox has done that for us already because that is grayed out. So we can just click back in and hit enter. And just like that, you have Linux installed, well, Ubuntu installed, and if you're following along using Linux Mint, well, you have now got Linux Mint installed as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you are happy that you now have Ubuntu or Linux Mint installed. And for more training and to improve on your current virtual machine, make sure that you check out startlinuxtoday.com, where there will be many more guides on improving your knowledge on Linux and helping you set up your brand new virtual machine a little more. So I hope to see you there, and I'll see you next time.